We are back with our 12-part series. This is number 8 from the original shooting locations of the Karate Kid, and this was inspired by the new series Cobra Kai. If you're a Karate Kid fan, I highly recommend you check it out. You will love it. And today we're going to look at the hill scene, where Daniel takes a tumble down a hill on his bike, forced off by the Cobra Kai gang. Now this scene only lasted basically about 55 seconds, but it's a vital part of the scene where he trashes his bike and Mr. Miyagi fixes it, and that starts their bond and their friendship. So this place is located out in Agoura Hills, and it's in between Shady Creek Drive and Laurel Drive, and it's a little park that they sandwiched in here. Now, when this movie took place when it was filmed in 1983, all the houses on Laurel Drive, there was only about 2 or 3 houses that were built, and then the rest of it was a vacant lot. So I'm going to show you the whole tour of how I had to get to this place. And it's interesting because no one's made a video on this before because it's hard as hell to find this place. And not people know a lot about it. Now, I was in great luck because you see this lady walking up with her dogs? Well, I stopped to talk to her, and lo and behold, she's lived there ever since they filmed The Karate Kid. And I was a little confused when I turned this corner to see the area where they filmed the fall, and she told me the exact spot that they did. And if it wasn't for her, I probably would have misguessed the spot because, like I said, it literally could have been 2 different spots as I'm looking right here, because you identify it by a big tree, and I thought it might be that one big tree up ahead, and she said, no, it's past the second tree, which is even bigger, and it's a lone standing tree. And when I did look online, they did say the one of the websites I came across said it is by a lone standing tree, so she totally helped me out with that. She didn't want I want to film her, but she didn't want to be filmed, but she was glad to help. And as you see right here, it's like a little little river area, but it looks a little swampish right now. But there was a lot of wildlife in there. I was tripping on that. It's a beautiful area. Now, Agoura Hills is a very expensive area, and you'll see later in this video some of these houses. These houses are $2 to $4 million houses, easy. And most of these houses have a pool, a jacuzzi. Some even had tennis courts. Yeah, they're just beautiful houses. So that's it. That give you an idea. Like I said, there was only 2 or 3 of those houses that were just literally being built. And the rest of this that you see in this whole area was all that, open area that Daniel was riding his bike on. So they probably got this location just because of the fact that it was an open area. And one thing I noticed too as I'm walking, so there's the tree I'm talking about. And like I said, I might have thought it was the other tree, but she said it's a lone standing tree right here. And this action actually took place over here. So he's riding his bike along here, and then he gets knocked down around this area, and this is where he tumbles down this hill. Now, one thing I noticed is it's a very steep hill. It's not an easy walk, and even though I'm holding the camera straight, the whole hill is on a decline. And to me, it wouldn't seem like it'd be the greatest place to walk dogs, but it might be one of the only few places in the area that's a small park that people can walk their dogs. And I don't know if you can really see, but this beautiful tree right here had a nice swing right here, and that's what she told me too. She said the tree will have a swing on it, and there was a swing on this tree. Now, when they filmed this back in '83, I was born in '71. Just give you another look. I'm gonna keep showing you this just to give you more and more reference points. And this is the tree that tree you just saw. This is that tree, and this area over here is where he takes his tumble. So he gets pushed off somewhere right about here, and he tumbles down this hill. And like I said, that's that hill right there. And I'm going to walk up to the top so you can see. But like I said, for some reason, the camera really didn't translate how steep this hill was. When I was walking down it, I was being very, very careful because I easily could have fallen down this hill. And I see why he ate it with his bike. Plus, there's a bunch of gopher holes all over this place. And that's probably what he hit his bike tire on when he flipped. And there's the tree again. And like I said, he was coming down here, and he was pushed off. There's that tree. And these were just newly built. They were still working on those houses at the time. Now that this whole area is all covered, there's a whole neighborhood back there. And I first went on that street, which is Laurel Drive, but I didn't have access. Now I'm walking up to the top of this steep hill, and you can see the whole valley once you get to the top. But so back in the 80s, like I said, I was born in 71. This came out in 84. And so when I was in my early teens, I mean, you rode your bike everywhere. When you're like 7, 8, 9, up to about 16 or 17, you rode your bike everywhere. And I don't know if kids today have that connection that we had. So look, you can see the whole valley. Beautiful area. And like I said, this is just south. Agoura Hills is literally just south of Thousand Oaks. Yeah, beautiful area. Like I said, very, very pricey area. So, like everyone, all of my friends had. Let me stop this right here. All my friends had bikes, and so the bike that Daniel has right here, this bike is, it's a BMX bike, but it's a Mongoose 2.4, and this bike came out in 1982. They filmed this movie in 1983, and this was like the bike to have when it first came out. And there's one, a nice clear picture of one that was brand new. Now, so he was riding a BMX bike. Your goal as a kid was to go from this bike to an actual dirt bike, a motorized dirt bike. So now the bike that Johnny and his gang are on, the dirt bikes they're on, is Johnny and 2 other guys are using this, the Honda 500R. It's actually the Honda XL 500R. It also came out in 1982. So they got the newest stuff for this movie. So like I said, Johnny and 2 other people of the Cobra Kai were riding this bike. And then the other bike that the 2 other members were riding were these right here, these Suzuki SP 500s, but they were painted white, probably so they could just have some type of difference in the look of it all. But that was the 2 different bikes, dirt bikes that they were riding. And now there you see, that's the fall he took down there, going down that way. And so I walked, it was easier for me to walk around, just stay at the top was the flattest part of this steep hill. And then you can see some of these beautiful houses. Like I said, it's got like a miniature basketball court in this one. You see the tennis court and a miniature basketball court there in this one. But as for your bikes, you rode your bikes everywhere. I mean, we loved our bikes as a kid. And the top bikes back then it was at Mongoose, and then the GT was another one, and Diamondbacks. Those were like the top bikes. I had what was called a Stormer, which was made by the same people that made the Diamondbacks, but it was like a lower end, but it still was a badass bike. But like I said, the Diamondback was the bike you want to have, the regular BMX bike you want to have as a kid. Now, I know this had nothing to do with the movie, but this was across the street once I walked my way back from the way I just came. And I was like, this is crazy that you have all this going on, and then you have this over here. So, yeah, there was hundreds of them all chilling out. Yeah, so that had nothing to do with the movie, but it just was something to throw in there, that even in these like highly developed areas that are very expensive, you still have something like that going on. So what they did, like what Cobra Kai did to Danielson, it's like today. Imagine if you did that today, you force some kid down a hill like that. That would probably be like attempted murder or something. So it's kind of crazy. But back in the 80s, like we would mess with our, like, as being a person that rode my BMX bike everywhere, is we would do crazy stuff like that. We would try to ride down hills like that, and we would try to, mess with our buddies and knock them down and stuff. But like things like that, you don't even do that today. And like I said, you barely even see kids around that age riding a bike. It's a different time now. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. And like I said, this was number 8 out of 12 of the original shooting locations. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and leave any comments and questions down below, and I'll get back to as many as I can. And I will catch you guys in the next video.
MrYorkieLoverFitness.com